Welcome to I Rock Business with Confidence, the podcast where passion meets profit without the pressure of a big price tag. I'm your host, Corey Fonville Foster, transformational speaker, certified business coach, trainer, and the CEO behind the mic. In every episode, we dive deep into the heart of entrepreneurship, bringing you stories, strategies, and tips to monetize your passions while maintaining your budget. Whether you're a budding entrepreneur or looking to scale up, this is your go-to resource for affordable sales and marketing strategies. Join us as we interview small business experts from around the globe, sharing their journeys, challenges, and the solutions that propelled them to success. I Rock Business with Confidence podcast is here to demystify the process of running a successful business on a budget. Get ready to transform your entrepreneurial dreams into reality, one episode at a time. Hey guys, hi, Corey Fonville Foster here, your host, and welcome to the I Rock Business with Confidence podcast. We are going to be delving into some tools and strategies to empower entrepreneurs to build successful and resilient businesses. Today, we're thrilled to have Terrina Taylor, a visionary in merchant services and credit card processing. As the founder and CEO of the Payment Concierge, Terrina specializes in creating efficient payment processing systems for minority women-owned businesses, ensuring they thrive in a competitive market. In this episode, Terrina will share her insights on the importance of tailored payment solutions, overcoming financial hurdles, and impact of strategic financial planning on business growth. Join us as we uncover the keys to financial empowerment and streamlined operations. Let's bring in Terrina. Hello.
Hey, thanks for having me, Corey.
I'm so excited to have you. I will be completely honest. Usually when people come on the podcast, I know a lot about their topic already, but I am very financial. I have like financial phobia. I repel it in some way. I'm always like, I feel like it's always on the other side of this glass that I can't quite touch because they use words that I'm not familiar with. So I took a lot of time to Google before this episode, but I think I'm not alone. I think that a lot of people listening are going to say, I know I need to have a better understanding of my finances, of my processing systems, of how my money is working with, for, and possibly against me, but I don't know where to start. I don't know who to reach out to. So I'm so excited that you are going to be here and sharing some amazing tea with us today. But before we dive into me asking you a bazillion questions, please do reintroduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you and how you got into business.
Hi, everyone. My name is Terrina Taylor. I'm the owner of the Payments Connoisseur. We are a merchant services consulting firm specializing in merchant accounts, credit card processing, equipment, and financial education for minority-owned and women-owned businesses. That is something that I'm passionate about because as an entrepreneur, I've been an entrepreneur mostly all my life. My mom and I own a salon. And so in 2021, when we was just starting to kind of swing back into getting back introduced to business from Corona shutting everything down, you started doing more contactless payments because people weren't really paying in cash, so you kind of transitioned over. And I started looking at some of the fees that Square was charging me. I was using Square at the time. And I was looking at the fees, and I noticed that if somebody had their card stored in my system, the fee would be higher as opposed to if somebody swiped the card in person. And so that led me down like, I wonder why that is. I wanted to know, of course, because I'm an entrepreneur. I want to know where my money going. So I started doing a little research, and it's actually because of the risk involved. So if somebody has somebody's card stored in your system, you have the ability to charge that card at any time. So that is the risk involved with you saying, somebody might say, oh, I didn't authorize that charge. It could be a chargeback, issue involved. So that's why the risk is higher. So the fees are higher. And if somebody swipes their cards in person, that lets them know that the person actually handed them your card and you actually swiped it in person. So it's less of a chance that they'll have a chargeback situation because they actually gave you their card. Makes sense, right?
Yeah, never knew the things that we don't pay attention to. I'm like, can they swipe? Great.
Right. Well, that's what we care about, getting paid. But once you start looking into the fees, fees eat into businesses. So
Mhm.
you have to, once you start scaling a little bit, you kind of go back and reconfigure some things. What kind of systems can I get to automate some tasks? What kind of systems can I get rid of that I really don't need? Because we buy a lot of software. I do. I love software. So some of the software, after you've been using it for a while, you can switch to better things that have lesser fees, or it's better for you, for your business.
Yeah, makes perfect sense. And again, I just think it's just so much that we don't think about because we're just like we don't. I also feel like I don't know that we have choices. That's a big thing too. It's like okay, I know I have Square or I can have PayPal or whatever. Like you got the big ones that you know about, and it's like okay, well these are my choices. I guess I'll pick one, whichever one's most convenient or the one I'm most familiar with. But now you're saying, hold on, stop throwing your money away. Look at some of the details, and I like that. What are some other fees that we need to be aware of besides just the difference between if we can swipe or if their stuff is on file? Are there any other fees that we should be like, wait a minute, let me look at these?
Some of the fees that PayPal charge are astronomical, as far as just getting your money. Sometimes they'll charge you. Then sometimes PayPal will do this. You'll get a high amount in sales, or you'll variate in sales, and then they'll put a hold on your money because they feel like it could be a situation where fraud or a scam is involved. So I've seen a lot of clients complain about Stripe or PayPal putting their money on hold, freezing their account, or shutting down accounts totally without reimbursement. People money been up in holding for 3 to 6 months. So that's just something that you can avoid if you look into getting an actual merchant account. And that's another thing that I like to educate people on when you were talking about our options. Most of us think that the options are PayPal, Square, and Stripe because they are the big three. They're the most popular. And they cater towards businesses, of course, because they know that they can charge us the fees and we don't know any better. So what I wanted to tell you about PayPal, Square, and Stripe, though, is that they're not actually a merchant account. What you are getting is a sub merchant account underneath of a master merchant account. So they are the master merchant. You are a sub merchant underneath them. So they are charging the fee just over to pretty much cover their thing. So by you skipping that middleman and getting your own merchant account, you lower your fees. You reduce the cost a little.
Okay, look, that sounds enticing. I think other people who are listening, their ears are perking up. Like, okay, I hear you. So there's a solution to this. Now, I'll be completely honest. I was like, what in the world is a merchant account? I literally Googled. I was like, merchant services. What is that? So in your own words, tell us a little bit for those of us who are not savvy in the financial world and have no clue about this. What is a merchant account? Because I'm interested. I want to skip the middleman. I want all of my coins.
Well, that's not to say that there won't be fees involved, because there are fees involved. But a merchant account is pretty much a account that you have with a bank that allows you to accept credit card payments in your own business name. Uh, so you get your own merchant account ID, as opposed to when you get with Stripe, Square, PayPal. They don't give you a merchant account ID because it's not your account. With a merchant account, it's actually your account with the merchant bank. You don't have the middleman. You actually are with the bank. You can actually get merchant accounts from different banks in the area. You can go to PNC, um, I think M&T. Most of these banks have merchant. You can get a merchant account with them. The difference is that they kind of have a, it's as far as you can get with the equipment they offer. They don't have a lot of partnerships with different equipment providers. We do. So that's the advantage that we have. We have a partnership with Retail Cloud. We can get you payment gateways if you don't need equipment. We got a partnership with Clover if you do want, in-house equipment, if you have a brick and mortar. So we just have a wider variety of merchant services to offer.
That's really cool. So let's go back to the banks because I know that different banks have different policies, they have different reaches. So what are the pros and cons to having a merchant account with the bank? Are there limitations? Because I know like PayPal is like everywhere. I can do business with people all over the world and Stripe, and you can have the little boxes and people know how to use them. But what is just kind of being transparent? What are some of the pros and the cons versus merchant accounts versus the big three?
Um, I think the ease of getting in. Like, they don't really put you through an underwriting process. Those big three, so you'll kind of get instantly verified, and they'll send out your little free little swipe reader, and you're ready to go. So the barrier to entry is less. With us, we actually make you go through underwriting process. That's why it's more secure, because you do have to go through underwriting process. We vet you. We make sure everything is legitimate up front. So you do have a less likely occurrence of, like, when PayPal or Stripe say we're gonna hold your fees. We don't have that because we already put you through that vetting process. So we don't have to say, oh, we're gonna hold your money to verify if it's real legit or not, because we already made, show you were legit from the get go. So
Okay.
that's just, to me, the difference, pros, cons with the actually getting with a merchant bank.
I know I'm triggered by the word underwriting because I bought a house and I didn't know what that
Right.
was. So I bought a house and I was like, oh Lord, what is this?
Yeah, when you hear underwriting, you definitely think about loans or something like that. That's what you think about. Yeah.
So what are some of the qualifications to being able to get the merchant account? Because you're doing this, I'm gonna call it this background check to make sure the person's legit. But what happens? Like, does everybody usually qualify? Are there some things people need to get in order before they go and try to get a merchant account? Do they have to, be at a certain level in their business, have so much money? Like, what are some of the qualifications?
Well, to me, the first thing is you should at least be making $5,000 a month. That's where you're going to see the most savings and fees. If you're doing less than that, then it's really not, worth your time. I'm not saying that it's not worth your time, but that's pretty much where you'll start seeing the get big amount of savings once you hit that 5K mark. You have to have a business bank account. You have to, if you have a brick and mortar, of course, you have to have an address, a business address, a ID, a state issued ID. That's pretty much it. Well, we can get you approved in less than 24 hours. If you have all those things in order, that's it. And just with scams going on so much now, though, we want to see people face to face, like me and you are having this meeting. We want to be able to see them on Zoom or something, and they have to show their ID to let them know that they are who they say they are. Because we've been going through a lot of occurrences now with people trying to scam. Scams is prevalent. That's what scammers going to scam.
And they do. There's a way they're gonna find it. But I love that you have safety protocols in place, and then you get that other layer of security with the underwriting. And then I love that you also kind of talked about that you have partners with the tools, because you can say I can take people's cards, but if I don't have a way to swipe it, then here we go. So I like that. It sounds like it's an all-in-one solution. And I think it's important too to clarify who things are for. And I think it makes sense. $5,000 monthly. That means you're probably gotten your business fundamentals down packed. You're making some decent sales. You're, planning to grow. You're planning to scale. It makes sense because if you're only doing, $100 here, $1,000 there, then you might be on a PayPal or a Stripe for a little bit, and then you can, get with the big dogs when you're ready and be able to get some additional security. So I think all that makes sense. Look, this makes sense to me. I think I'm your target audience. Like, it makes sense to me. So with that being said, one, it sounds like you and your team, they provide the equipment, they provide the service, but it sounds like you also provide education. Which sounds amazing because I love to get new things and be able to, better my business, but I love to be empowered with understanding the why behind it. So can you give me some situations maybe where you worked with clients in the past that this, merchant services and credit card processing has really helped them move their business to the next level?
Well, just having those initial prerequisites, just being able to have a business bank account. I've known that a lot of businesses, when they first start, you're just trying to get started. So you don't do those initial financial steps early on. You kind of take those steps later after you started, getting some momentum. But that's one thing that I do encourage. Once you open that business and get that LLC, automatically open up that business bank account, because that's something that you're going to need to separate your business from your personal finances. That's just something that you have to have. And as far as the education, anything you need to, like, cash flow projections. We need to know how much we making, how much revenue is it coming in, how much are we taking out. Just having those clear, concise answers. If you go for a loan at a bank or something, you need to know these things, because they'll be more likely to give you what you want, the money that you need for capital for your business, if you know these things initially up front.
Makes sense. Makes perfect. I'm just like, very clear, very concise. So when you're working with a client, say I walk in and I have my business bank account. I'm saying, hey, I've been using, Stripe for a couple of years. I tried PayPal. I want some added security. I'm doing, let's say 10K a month. What would you recommend for me to do from there?
If you could get like a statement from your account, I know Stripe and PayPal really don't do like statements, but you can get like a brief overview of all the kind of what you have coming in, so we can kind of do a cost savings analysis to see where we can save you money. What fees are they charging you? Where we can avoid some of those fees, eliminate some of those fees, and restructure some of those things so we can make it better for you, because that's what the goal is to make it less for you so you can put more of that money that they're charging you, take that and reinvest it back into your business.
And so if somebody were to work with you, is it like a one and done once it's set up, or do you have like a relationship with your clients where it's kind of ongoing, where they can come back and ask you questions, where they can, maybe restructure, look at different fees, make adjustments? Like, how does that partnership work?
That's exactly how it works. We are partners. After we sign that thing and you get underwriting, you're approved. We family now. We friends. We need to talk, communicate. If you need something and I can help you, that's what I'm here for, to help you, because I want you to succeed.
Awesome. And so I'm assuming that once get in the door, this is something that will go on for the longevity of your business. It's not something that, you're using for, a couple of months, couple of years. It's like, okay, you're just building on this. Is there anything outside of just the merchant services and kind of that initial setup? Is there anything else that you guys can help small businesses do?
We do CRM setups, because that's one of the things that you need when you're bringing in clientele. Is you need to have something that's integrated with your payment systems and your CRM. They need to kind of combine. So that's one thing that we do offer. Me personally, not my team, but me, my own business. I do financial education within the plan this year is to get a contract with the city schools, the public schools system, to try to teach financial literacy to middle school, high school students in that age range. Because to me, we need to learn earlier. We learn it too. I'm not saying it's too late ever, but it could be earlier. We need to know a lot of things as far as finances earlier on. We can make better financial decisions once we reach that 18, 21 age. We already know more than I personally, I didn't know a lot when I was the age. I learned, to me, it's like we gotta fail to learn, and that's not the way it should be at this point. We need to be educating younger about financials.
I agree completely. Look, somebody give her some grant money. Somebody.
Yeah, looking forward.
Exactly. I think it's so important. Like, financial literacy is, like, how they say education is important, like that's a stepping stone, but financial literacy is real, because you can go to college, right? You can get a degree, you can make a little bit of money, but if you got tons of debt, it's like you never get ahead. And I feel like, especially in the Black community, and thank God things are changing, but we didn't always have people that were in arm's reach to give us that education. Other people have had generations, their parents been buying land and house, they're getting willed down trusts and deeds. It's like they already have a leg up, and we're starting from scratch, making all the mistakes, and then spending our 20s, 30s, 40s, maybe 50s trying to repair what was damaged in a couple of years. And so I love that you're trying to not only help us, these business owners out here trying to make moves, but also get to the children, because if, like you said, if you get them started now, they're not going to make those mistakes. They're going to be empowered off the bat. They're going to make so much better decisions and have a better, less stressful, financially free life, which is, whew, I wish.
I mean, just think about if you just started. Say our parents, they were educated when we were younger and went to, say, elementary school. Just say if they started us a IRA account when we was leaving elementary school, the 5th grade. Think about how much that money would have accumulated if they started a Roth IRA for us at that time. If we did choose to go to college, how we could have used that money. If they did have us a trust, and then when somebody passed, it passed on to us, and we didn't have to worry about, oh, we don't have insurance, how are we going to pay for this? It's just so much things if in our communities that is pretty much came from systemic racism, and they trying to keep us down, and we need to build us up to learn about these things. Like I was on another podcast, so I was talking about the fact that they still have like rent centers and errands in poor neighborhoods. You know, they are horrible places. Why would you go there to get furniture or TV when you could just go straight buy cash for way cheaper? But in people's mind who don't know, they think that they doing okay, and it really is a sad thing. It's just sad to see.
And they know what they're doing because they put it in certain places.
Yeah.
My son took a financial class and he was telling me, he was like, never go to like a rent center. And I was like, you're right, because the interest rates are crazy. By the time you finally pay it off, that furniture is tore up. It is, you done bought new furniture. You done paid
Not only is it tore up and all that, but you could have got that furniture 5 times with the money that you paid on it.
Yes. It's crazy. And it's so unfortunate because people don't know better. You know, ignorance is real, and it's not to be rude or mean. It's just the way the system was set up. And I love that you're kind of out here doing the work and breaking those generational curses and being like, nope, wait, there's another way. You know, we can save, we can invest. Like, who knew? Going back as little Corey, who knew that we could invest ever? It's like, invest in what? Like, how many fish fries have we done, you know, to bury somebody? It's crazy. And I'm like, no, let's leave wealth. You know what I'm saying? Let's leave that, because we appear having celebration ceremonies with people's lives, putting people in the grave, and we stressing on how we gonna bury grandma, how we gonna bury auntie. It's like, you know, but like I said, I love that you're out here doing the work, because somebody has to do it. Like, it can't be me, because I don't know nothing about money. but yes,
you know, with the stuff you were saying about the funerals, that breaks up families, you know, and then that's just another problem that adds to our communities, because if we already beefing about who can pay for this, and you ain't gonna put no money in, you ain't gonna do this, then we start beefing as a family, and then it just fall apart after that.
Cousin Tyrone, like, you know, I'm good for it.
You know it, girl. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it is crazy. Like, y'all know it's like PTSD. If you come from that kind of family, and I'm sure it's not just the Black community, but if you come from that kind of family, you know they always looking at the one cousin that look like they got their life together. You can't bury auntie. You know, we'll pay you back. We'll all put in $100. This thing costs $10,000.55. Exactly. What you talking about?
Exactly.
But that's good. Look, now we know the people listening to this podcast, you can make changes now. Like you said, it's not too late. And once you learn it, you can pass that knowledge down, which is, it's so amazing that we are in this space and time where we have access to amazing companies like yours that can give us that information, who can work with us, and who are ethical. Because when it comes to money, I think that's one of people's biggest things, is like, who can I trust? Who has my best interest at heart? Who's out here just trying to get me? And you know, I'm just gonna be real. I love to work with people who look like me, because I do feel like there's a sense of, hey, you ain't gonna jack me up. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, look out for me a little bit. And so I'm just very appreciative that you were in this space, because there's definitely a gap in the market when it comes to this. Now, I do want to pivot a little bit, because when I was going through my notes for you, my team put together, they said something about government contracts. Now, I don't know what that's about, but tell me, do you have anything to do with government contracts, education? What you got going on over there?
Well, I can provide low-level education. I just got started in the government contracting space myself. I'm registered in SAM.gov. I do have my MBE WBE certification. I'm going towards some other certifications as well. So as far as all of that I've already been through, I can definitely pass the knowledge on. But I haven't actually secured a contract yet. So I'm in the process of doing that. I'm doing a lot of groundwork, a lot of research, a lot of networking, just to get my foot in the door to a lot of different spaces. So that's the next step. That's the goal for me this year, is to get my first government contract. Yes.
Look, we're about affirming things over here. Look, we got a couple months for this podcast airs. We're gonna already be excited. Go ahead and put in the comments, congratulations, because she gonna land that contract. We gonna speak it into existence, because I feel like you've already laid the work. You already doing the education, and I love that you said, hey, I already got some knowledge. I can help you. I can tell you what I know, and I love that you're not out here trying to be a gatekeeper. So many people would get the knowledge and then close the door behind them, like, oh, no, this is my money. But you seem so open and so willing. Those are the type of people that I like to build a rapport with and share my community with. Individuals who are willing to learn, do the work, and then share with others. Like, bring us with you. We want to be financially free, please.
Exactly. Remember that old saying, each one teach one?
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, you gotta teach to keep it. If the community gonna get better, how can you keep the knowledge to yourself if you're trying to help the community?
Okay, now.
Help them if you can't share the knowledge.
Look, y'all, you better tell them. I love that. And I love to, and I love to put this out on the podcast. She loves working with minority-owned businesses. Now, what does this mean for anybody who's about to get their britches in a tizzy? It don't mean she don't take everybody money, but it means that she has a special passion, a special heart set aside for minority-owned business. So if that is you, if you are listening to this like, man, PayPal been tearing me up, Stripe taking all my coins, there got to be a better way. You're doing at least $5,000 a month in sales. You better be. If not, you better, first of all, we need to talk if you're not. But if you are doing at least $5,000 a month and you want a better solution and you want to partner with somebody who genuinely, authentically cares about your future in business and outside, because when you take care of your business money, that trickles down into your house money. So please definitely don't let this be the last time that you connect with our amazing guest. Obviously, you can see here, we've only been talking for about 25 minutes, and she has been a wealth of knowledge. She seems very well educated in this realm, because again, for somebody who don't know nothing about nothing when it comes to finances, she was able to make it very plain and simple for me, so I appreciate that. Now, before we go, I want to give you an opportunity to let people know how they can connect with you, and as always, guys, all this information will be in the show notes.
You can connect with me on my website, TerinaTaylor.com, or thepaymentsconnoisseur.com. It's the same website. It just take you, to different URLs, take you to the same thing. You can connect with me on Instagram. I'm on Instagram and Facebook as well.
Awesome. So she done told you now. I also have, and it'll be in the show notes, I have a link if you want to book a free consultation call. But don't play with this woman's time. I always have to say that. Don't play with her time. Make sure that you're ready. She's already told you some of the basic requirements. If you're ready to move forward, if you're ready to take action, go ahead and use the link below and book that free consultation call, because I want to see where everybody's going to be. Matter of fact, do it as soon as this drops, and comment after you work with her. Let me know how it goes so that others will know how amazing she is to work with. Okay, that's what I'm asking you to do. I always say take notes, but I want you to book your call and then come back to wherever you watch this and comment how it was to work with our amazing guests. But thank you again for being on the iRock Business with Confidence podcast. Guys, remember that we have a new episode that drops every single week, and we are here to support you as you start, run, and scale on a shoestring budget. Guys, remember, I rock, you rock, we all rock, and I will talk to you next time.
And that's a wrap on another episode of iRock Business with Confidence podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining our journey into the world of entrepreneurship. If today's episode inspired you or just gave you the tools to tackle your next business challenge, we'd love your support. Please like, share, follow, subscribe, and rate us with a glowing 5 stars. And don't forget to leave us a review. Are you an entrepreneur with a unique perspective, expertise, or actionable strategies that our audience can implement today to advance their entrepreneurial journey? We're always on the lookout for guests who are ready to share their stories and insights. If that's you, please reach out to us. Remember, entrepreneurship isn't just about the destination, it's about the journey. And here at iRock Business with Confidence, we're here to journey with you. Until next time, keep rocking your business with confidence. We can't wait to see where your entrepreneurship journey takes you.